to dream
The impossible dream to right the unrightable wrongs. Yeah, you started it.
Okay. So we'll get back to that in just a second, what that means. So anyway, welcome to the show today.
Welcome to the show today, Walt's Wisdom.
Walt's Wisdom. We love Walt's Wisdom because we get a chance to talk about one of our favorite people. There are many out there that we get to talk about and enjoy and all that good stuff. But Walt's one of our favorites.
One of our favorites.
Yeah. So
Walt Disney. I mean, it's so crazy, the icon that he has become. Walt Disney doesn't even mean a person anymore. It means this magical. If anybody knew how to an understood brand and how to make a brand work, Walt sure did.
And he even said at one point, Walt Disney is not me.
Yeah,
he
understood what he had created.
It's actually something else. It's not me anymore. It's actually the brand of the company. So, hey, as we start off, let's just introduce ourselves. I'm Kerry White, and I am the founder and CEO of SpeakUp, and my good friend here,
Bobby Glenn James, president of SpeakUp.
And SpeakUp is a professional speakers studio. So remember that. Those of you who want to speak, want to train, want to be in front of people.
To learn how to move your message.
Yeah.
Put your message out there. Everybody has a message inside them, and you get to get out there and give your message.
That's the fun thing. We get to work with speakers, trainers, and coaches to help them learn about their message and to help them monetize their message. So even if you're already a professional speaker, we have a place for all of you at SpeakUp, and we encourage you to come out and like our SpeakUp page on Facebook and go to our website and all that good stuff. So that's the plug for today.
Plug for SpeakUp Speakers, Professional Speaker Studio.
So welcome
SpeakUpSpeakers.com.
SpeakUpSpeakers.com, yes. So welcome to the program, and welcome to our lovely home behind us.
Yes,
Bobby has half of that with his family, and I take the other half with mine.
Yes.
So we always just think it's fitting.
It's kind of drafty, though.
It is a little drafty. There's no air conditioning or heat, so you have to kind of really figure out your own thing out. No, it's fun. We can't use the Disney icon stuff, so this is kind of the second best thing. This is kind of where the inspiration came from anyway, so it's cool. It kind of gets us there. Maybe one day Disney will say, hey, why don't you use our castle? Give us a little advertising.
I'm sure that will happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Probably get a letter saying
cease and desist.
Yeah, we're suing you. No, it's good. So we want to talk about one thing. Again, this book is called the How to Be Like Walt, and we love the book. We encourage you to read it. It's by
it's so magical.
Pat Williams.
See-through. How does it do that?
I don't know.
That's cool.
But we do encourage you to read it, and today we're going to talk about one of Walt's lessons called Do the Impossible.
Do the impossible.
If there was anybody that did the impossible, it was Walt Disney. He was just audacious enough to believe, coming home from the military where he served as a 16-year-old until he was 18.
In World War I?
In World War I. Yes, I think it was World War I. And he was just audacious enough to believe that he could come back and immediately go right to work for one of the best newspapers around doing cartoons for that company. And then he was brash enough to think that when that didn't work, when his company failed after he started his own company...
Yeah, do most people know that he actually had some failures before Disney Brothers created Disney?
Yeah, just a few.
Just a few.
A few failures in his life.
I don't know if I know any entrepreneurs that haven't failed a few times.
Yeah, but
I know I've failed a few times.
This guy set the bar really high, though.
For failures?
For failures.
Yeah, when Walt failed, he failed big.
Big. So big. So he ends up moving to California after he starts his own... he started the studio in his own barn out back of his house. Hired some... I guess you can say hired. I think he didn't pay them. I don't know how it was working.
Buddies. That's where buddies come in.
Yeah.
That's where friends.
That's
when you know who your true friends are. Yeah, we do. Not just the people that will help you move, but the people that will help you start some kind of goofy business.
Yeah.
That's who your true friends are, people.
So he gets this business business, and it didn't work out there. They had to leave. He ended up with $40 in his pocket, moving to California, and he was just brash enough to think that he could go to California and start working for one of the studios there and be a director. Walt was crazy. His mind was crazy, but he always knew that he could do the impossible. And he talked about that a lot in his life. How he says, how much fun to do the impossible, just to make that a great thing. So
even the word, and I love it, I think it was Katharine Hepburn that said, even in the word impossible is I'm possible.
Exactly. So think about that when you're thinking about your speaking business or your other business or whatever you're trying to do. I mean, you have those days. Hey, look, I've had one of those days today where I thought, maybe this is impossible.
What are we doing?
Yeah, but you have to go, you know what? Walt went through this. He had $40 in his pocket. I got a few more bucks than that, maybe. Not much, but a few more.
Yep.
But you just keep pushing through and do the impossible. And it's really cool. I'm going to share a couple of little quotes with him and just about what Walt said in just a second. But really, think about your business. And I was talking last night with, I went over to Broadview University. It's an art school, entertainment and art school uptown. And I was talking with some graphic designers, and they're just about ready to graduate and start their life and so forth. And I asked them what they were doing right now, and they were kind of like, oh, well, I work for XYZ company.
Their job, phones.
It was on one of them was phones.
Yeah. That's always the classic starter.
Yeah. And
we've all got to pay our dues on the phones. I've had phone jobs back in the day.
Yeah. So, they were a little bit hesitant to tell me, but I said, look, whatever it takes to do your dream, it's okay. It's okay if you're working part-time or even full-time while you're focused on your dream. But I told them,
just don't give up the dream.
I said, please just keep the dream alive.
Yes.
Do whatever it takes. Don't let it fade or drift away. And this is part of doing the impossible, because in our minds, when we first begin, certainly we think it's possible, and then life beats up on us. Everything that you think about your dream, things will come at you so fast and hard to try and knock you off of that.
Yep.
And so you have to really stay focused and make sure that you don't let the dream die.
Don't let the dream die. And experience is so important. I mean, we go to school, and a lot of people get schooling, but that experience has a lot of merit. So people, when you have a vision of something you want to create or do, just like Walt's buddies probably didn't have a whole lot of experience, but they created something. And when you create something, you're up the notch. If you were a part of a free thing or didn't get paid and you're an intern or something like that, but it has created something powerful, then you immediately are legitimized and have a way to move up the ladder in something that you're passionate about or excited about, and you can let go of that day job or that job, because so don't be afraid to do some things for free. Don't be afraid to connect with people that have vision, that are excited about doing some grandiose, great thing, no matter what it is, especially if it sounds impossible.
Yeah.
Because it's only impossible when nobody does it.
Or when you stop.
Yeah, when you stop.
When you stop, then it becomes impossible. So everybody has these dreams and visions, and so few of them actually, go forward with it.
The key is to just keep pushing.
Yeah.
Everybody that's ever made huge successes have tons of failures, and they just don't quit. The secret is not to stop. Do not lose your vision. Keep going. Keep going. Fail, 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 fail. You never know. The 15th time, if you'd have stopped right then, the 16th time might have been the one that exploded and gave you the whole world and life that you were so excited about.
Right. Yeah. And again, it's going to happen. You're going to.
It will happen eventually.
Yeah, there's nobody.
Even if you
that
have
does
to do it 500 times,
Yeah.
just like Thomas Edison, 3,000 times trying to make the light bulb.
10,000.
10,000. I've heard so many different terms.
10,000.
Probably it was like 5, but no, probably not 5. But he said, he learned how not to do it. He learned along the way, but the key was he never quit.
Yeah.
He never lost that vision, that passion to create what he knew he could create.
You know what's cool? And this is not Walt, but we have that same history with Harmon's Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Colonel Sanders went out, and it was close to, I don't know, 3, 4, 5,000 times that he was rejected. Finally ended up here in Utah.
Yep.
And talking with the Harmon family.
Yep. And
we ended up with the first
Kentucky Fried Chicken
right
in Utah.
Here. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, from anywhere, but it started right here. And it was all because somebody, well, first off, it was because he didn't quit.
He didn't quit. And he was how? I mean, he was in his 60s.
He had retired. Yeah, he was 65 or 66 or somewhere in that neighborhood. So he,
like, I got a good recipe for chicken.
Yeah,
I need to give people some chicken.
And a whole bunch of people said, no, I don't want
that's
that.
Stupid. Nobody cares about that. In fact, when people start telling you your idea is stupid, you should perk it up and thinking, hey, it might be worth doing.
Yeah, and believe me, there's going to be a whole lot of people tell you your idea is stupid.
Yes, yeah.
And you cannot believe them if you have a dream. And you just have to say, I'm going to do the impossible. And Colonel Sanders did it at that age and made it. I mean, look at it. You go everywhere in the world, and there's a Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Not only that, Ray Kroc, the same thing with McDonald's.
Yeah.
I mean, Ray Kroc, the McDonald's brothers isn't what created the McDonald's that we know today.
Right.
Ray Kroc did at 52 years old. He was an ice cream machine salesman.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until 52 that he had the vision of creating all these McDonald's all over the country and world.
Yeah. So doing the impossible has been done many, many times. So let me read just a couple of things. Walt didn't care about doing what was safe, sensible, or respectable. For Walt, anything was possible. So he didn't care about the safe. He was never. I mean, imagine this. Walt started in the barn. It was a dusty, dirty, crappy old barn, and they were going to draw cartoons in a dusty, dirty old barn. Mm-hmm. And they had some success, but then they failed a lot as well.
And even had people rip things off from them. A lot of people don't know that Mickey Mouse wasn't his first successful cartoon.
Oh, no, way down the line.
Yeah, he actually had a rabbit. What was his rabbit's name?
Oh,
yeah, that's how much we know about the guy that stole the rabbit when Walt was passionate about his little rabbit character, and when he came back, they were like, sorry, you no longer have anything to do with that cartoon. He created it from heart and soul, and he goes, you know what, we need another one, and he figured out a mouse.
Yeah, and did the impossible again. So it was one of those things. He also, it says, I'm not interested in what a man can't do. What I'm interested in is what they can do. So think about that. Walt was always, there was a lot of people that say, I can't do that, or I can't. Mm-hmm. He wasn't interested in what you can't do. He's interested in what you can do.
Those are called excuses. And
excuses?
Everybody's got them.
Yeah.
Excuses.
Yeah, we all have
And you know
them.
what? Nothing gets done with excuses. It's
right.
exactly the same as the word try. Every time you say try, you might as well just go do something else, because try means you'll never, ever accomplish it. Everybody's got an excuse, but when you take accountability and say, hey, I'm going to take on my dream, I'm going to move forward, you can't help but succeed.
Yeah. And again, there's so many people that have a dream that let it pass by. They end their life saying, I sure wish I would have tried that, rather than stepping up and trying it. Even if you fail, even if it doesn't work out, I mean, just take a risk and make it happen in some form or fashion. At least you can go out of this life saying, I gave it everything I had, and I'm glad that I tried it. I'm glad that I worked through it, and that sort of thing.
And I would say, if you keep pushing, even if it takes 10 years, and some folks it has taken 10, 20 years to reach their pinnacle of their dreams, I'd almost say if you don't give up, you will succeed eventually with whatever your passion, desire is. I mean, we've got people that have a company now that goes and mines asteroids, and they're at right now getting ready to actually shoot stuff into space and mine asteroids. That sounds like sci-fi, but that's a real company. So
yeah, well, along that same line, so here's another quote that matches exactly what you're saying, Bobby. Mm-hmm. He says, Walt says this, then dare to do the impossible, dream big dreams, and don't be surprised when your impossible dreams come true. So
don't be surprised.
Yeah, dream big dreams, and don't be surprised when they come true, because you keep working at them, and eventually those things will happen. Yeah. And a lot of times people would tell Walt, oh, we got to think outside the box. You know what Walt would say about that is, that just means that you've created a box. He would always tell people, don't say that, because it's not thinking outside the box. That assumes that there is a box, and we've put ourselves in one.
Yeah.
What we need to do is not even have a box to begin with.
No such thing as a box.
There's no box.
We're free spirit is what we are.
Now, I use that quote sometimes, and other people use it to me a lot. Whenever they use it, or whenever I try and say it, I go, Walt would say, there's not a box to begin with. Don't put yourself in one. So you don't need to go out of it if you're not in one. So keep out of it. So anyway, I really hope that you will take a look at what your business is. If you're speaking and you're saying to yourself, I want to be a speaker, I want to be a trainer, I want to be in front of people, I have that message.
I want to coach people.
I want to coach people. I want to be a better communicator. Just realize that you can do it, that the impossible will eventually become possible for you, and don't be surprised when that can happen, in your life. Again, Walt would always say, it's kind of fun doing the impossible.
It's kind of fun doing the impossible.
Yeah, and look where he ended up. I mean, look at all the wonderful things.
At 66, he passed away at 66 years old, and his visions of the future of what he was going to create is powerful. But at 66, he created a legacy that all of us still enjoy. And the positiveness of that legacy is just insanely cool.
Yeah, and everybody along the way told him he couldn't do it, that it was impossible, and
including his brother.
That
helped him the whole time.
Yeah, even including his father, who he had at the studio one time, and he had to tell
what do you do here?
He had to tell his dad it was a hospital, because his dad did not believe that he actually built this business to draw cartoons.
Yeah.
So he finally just said, "Dad, it's a hospital." And his dad goes, "Okay, I understand that."
Yeah.
So it was really tough, but do the impossible.
Do the impossible.
So
take it on.
Now's your chance. Go do the impossible. Hey, we're getting ready to break. We're going to go do one of our impossible dreams. Called The Message.
The Message.
We're doing it tonight. So if you're in Salt Lake area and want to come over and just kind of watch, this is our beta setup.
Yep.
So it's going to be very raw and all that kind of stuff.
Very raw.
But every month we're going to be doing this message program. It's a competition between speakers, a chance to share your message.
So if you're
and
a speaker
inspire.
and you want to get out there and show, but you maybe want to learn something too. We're going to have some judges there. They're going to judge your speaking ability. Did you entertain? Did you inspire? Did you educate? And they're going to connect with those three things, and we're going to have winners.
We're going to have winners, and we're going to give at least a scholarship to the university, the Speakers University, to the Message to Magic program. So you'll have a chance to learn better speaking skills and learn about your message and so forth. But if nothing else, come and join us.
Come have some fun
on a regular basis.
We need an audience.
Yeah.
We want people there to watch and be inspired and connected and hopefully have some inspiring speakers.
Well, and it's really hard to be able to say in front of a